Hello, you wonderful, lovely people. It is Bear with Bear and Lilac, and this is going to be like a tech sort of protection review. So, let's start with one of the things we'll be taking on the honeymoon is the Samsung Gear 360, and this is the 2017 model. I also have the 2016 model. So, that is the Gear 2017 model. And it's not waterproof, and it's only sort of like dust resistant and things like that. So I wanted to buy a sort of protection kit for it. So a company called EEEKIT, 3 E's that is, and the word kit is the title of the company, and make accessories for the Gear 360. So starting with their silicone sort of like shell for it, which is just basically a silicone rubber shell, which is really nice, and that just slides on. Which is nice. It does literally stretches a little bit as that body shape with the Gear 360 makes it a little tighter to get things on it. A bit of persuasion. And I can already tell that I've lined it up the wrong way. But once it's on, it's very easy to spin round. Oh no, there we go. So it's got a gap for the button. It's got a gap for the screen. It's also got a gap for the SIM card and the USB-C slot, which is really nice. It gives it a bit of grip. It feels alright in your hand. It's silicone. Part of that kit is also the lens cover cap, which literally slides on. Initial thoughts was I didn't think that would be secure. But, I mean, okay, it's not a clip-on cover case, but it's stopping it from getting dirty. You can rub it again, you know, it's protecting those lenses, which is doing its job. I mean, it's secure to a degree. I mean, I suppose you wouldn't want it too secure because it'd physically be a clip. It would be scratch the lenses being on. That's also made of silicone, which is really nice. I mean, it's grippy. I can imagine it will pick up a lot of dirt when you're out and about, but I suppose it's nice and easy to clean down. It's silicone, it'll be water friendly, and that just gives it that little basic bit of protection. Part of the same kit that came with that is a wrist strap, I'd call it. It's like making the 360 camera go like very GoPro. It's a very nice, like gripped sort of strap that would go around your arm. So that would go round, you move the button down, tighten it all the way up, and that gives you the standard I can't remember if it's 3mm screw or something like that. It just screws into the bottom. And I mean, if you're going to use it as an action camera, I suppose having it just on your wrist, you know, it's got a little bit of elastic to it, but it's not. I can't imagine that it'd snap very easily. That's going to take some hell of a yank to be able to pull that. That's quite the connection at the top's quite a solid metal connection. It feels solid. You know, it doesn't feel like a flimsy bit of like metal they put on top. It's got that logo on it. If my camera can adjust, it might not do. But yeah, I mean, it's nice if you're going to make it a GoPro sort of like action camera, which you can do with the 360 because you can just use one lens and be able to hold it up like that, and it'll give you a great panoramic view of the first outside bit. And then I wanted to make the camera waterproof so that if we were around the water parks in Disney World, I didn't have to worry about it. And part of the first part of that is their slimline tripod, which literally slims down to next to nothing. I mean, that is going to be very comfortable to hold and use just as a sort of like an extended arm slightly. It's got the standard sort of camera screw bit at the top, so you could use it for other things. And I mean, the tripod itself, yeah, you're not going to get angles on the top. It's not got a movable pivot at the top, but it's got a steady enough platform. It's the tripod legs don't click into place, but they feel like they'll stay in position while you've got it in that sort of position. You know, the cameras are not heavy, so you're not putting a lot of weight on it. I mean, I wouldn't use it for like a big camera. I mean, the design it's designed clearly for a very light camera. It goes all the way flat, so you get that good, like, I'd say 2 inches, maybe 3 inches clearance from the table surface to standing right up. I mean, I'd say it's nearly 20 to 25 centimeters, which is really, I mean, it's a nice, I mean, adding that on top of the 360 camera. And then you've got, you know, you probably won't get the hand cut off as much because you had to see it straight away. You know, you're not going to get that blurriness of your arm because it's going to be lower down until you get your whole arm in the shot. And then the other thing with that is the waterhouse housing. So this is about the same length as that tripod is, which shocked me a bit because it really is quite some length. And it just unscrews, and it comes in those 2 parts. It's got the standard sort of camera screw in at the bottom. It's then got a screw on the bottom, so you can straight in attach a mount to it. So, you know, there you go, you've got a tripod for it. I mean, I've not used it myself yet. I mean, you can connect whatever you like to it. I mean, there's the lanyard sort of thing, wrist strap connected to it. And that's like secure. It's got a screw at the bottom. I mean, that's the most thing you can ask for. This is quite unique because it's a clearly ejected piece of plastic. So there's only one seam and it's right at that top. Yeah, there's no seams down the other side of it, so you don't have to worry about lining up the gaps in the camera. You can just, you know, once the camera's in, screw that on top and that's it. Secureness for the camera. So, like, literally screw it in. And once it's screwed in, I mean, I'd probably take the lens cap off, but you can keep that silicone body jacket on, which should be quite nice. And then you just slide that on. I mean, it is made of plastic. I'd say it's roughly hard plastic. It's going to take a beating, but it's not going to take a massive beating. And then I tighten it all the way you can possibly can. And then your 360 camera's waterproof then. You know, they don't claim it's waterproof, they claim it's water resistant, but I can't see the seal breaking on it, or if it does, that's probably the reason it, I mean, I wouldn't be taking it to depths. It's just basically, you're going to be able to use it in a swimming pool or something, or around the pool, and not have to worry about, you know, is the camera covered in water? This is going to keep the water off of it completely. As you can see, there's no seam, so you're not going to worry about where your alignment is. One of the other things they provided is a microcloth, just for cleaning the camera, cleaning the outside of this. Of course, if you've got fingerprints on the outside of this lens, it's going to sharpen your image. It's just going to show up everywhere. So the very thin microcloth, as you can, I can feel it. Very, very thin. It's very, sorry, not very thin. It's very fine. It's gripping that plastic already, and that plastic feels very smooth in your hand. So clearly, it can pull out the blemishes in the plastic. And I mean, it's very clean. It's going to make your camera very clean. It's going to get rid of any fingerprints you've got sitting around it. There'll be a little jump cut. I'm going to show you what it looks like in a bucket of water. Just to show you that, you know, dunking in a bucket of water is waterproof. And then what I will do is I'll have a private video in the description, because I've seen some reviews that says this steams up. So what I'll try it in is some cold water, and then I'll show you in some warm water because I've got a fish tank. And and then see what it looks like in both. But I'll use the 360 camera images from that. I mean, I might put it up on this if it steams up while we're in a cold bath, or I'll put it in the warm and see if it steams up. So I'll have a quick jump cut and we'll be back to that. So welcome back. So this is a bucket of cold water. It's literally just come out the tap. The thermometer saying it is roughly 13 to 14 degrees. So that is quite cold. Yeah, that is just over 50 Fahrenheit. I'll leave that in there. So I've got the camera back in its casing, it's sealed all the way up. Now fingers crossed we don't get any air bubbles because I've ruined my 360 camera. We were getting a bit of bubbles there, that made me panic. But that's it submerged. I've got the camera on 4K video settings at the moment. So, you know, just move it about, see if those air bubbles were just the initial ring. You know, it's not a nice cold water, but you know, it's cold enough. I can feel the very definite temperature it's changed. I mean, this isn't sunny in England at the moment, but it'll be about 10 degrees in England as it is. So I can't see it fogging up at the moment. There's still a couple of air bubbles coming out of the trap at the bottom. But pulling out, the camera doesn't look like it's been in any water. I'm just going to grab a towel and give it a quick dry off. I'm just going to slide this bucket out of the way. Shut it over there. I'll keep that for when I do my 360 camera sort of like demos and stuff. I like putting in the cold water and the warm water. Do mind me, I'm very unofficial. That is my phone going off saying hey. So I don't see any steaming up yet. Maybe a little bit, you know, where it's catching your fingerprints on it. It's still quite warm in areas. Yeah, still quite cold in areas, sorry. But yeah, it's like, I don't see it quite steaming up. I say you're going to get steam, it's going to be on the outside. I can't imagine it happen on the inside. But I will leave it in the bucket running for a little while, see if it gets some, like, anything showing on it. So the camera is absolutely bone dry, which thank God for it is. I mean, the camera's warmer, a lot warmer than that water is. I mean, I'd quite happily warm my hands back up on that camera. There is little drops of water in the bottom. Now I think one of the biggest downsides to this is where they've got their seal. If they'd literally just put a little rubber rim, and I might do it, I might put a bit of silicone, because that would proper make it watertight. Or maybe find a rubber ring that will just slide on the bottom of there and make it so when you screw that in, you're pushing down on the rubber seal. You know, it's only got to be a couple of millimeters, and you push down on a rubber seal and it'd make that really watertight. You'd never have that fear of, oh, is there bubbles escaping? What's the chances of the water, you know, moving the pressure around and things like that. But I mean, that's the only little downside I can see with it. And that's it. Hope you've enjoyed our review. Me and Gemma will be going to Disney World for Christmas. Do check out our blogs. We'll be using all sorts of cameras with us. We've got a little Samsung. Well, I'm sure we'll do a tech sort of what we're taking with us video. So I look forward to that in the future. Thank you very much. If you could hit the like button if you liked it, hit the dislike if you dislike it. Leave a nice little comment would be lovely. And subscribe, but that would be even better. Thank you very much.